Hi, this is Greg Gimeno, attorney with Chesapeake Wills and Trust, and author of the book, How to Protect Your Home and Life Savings in Maryland. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what is a revocable trust. Okay, so when we sit down and talk with people, there's a great misconception about trust law that it's only for millionaires, it's only for the super rich, or only for people that are leaving millions and millions of dollars to their kids. But with the recent changes to tax laws, trust planning has become more of a tool that's available for everyone. So what we have found with our clients is there's two real reasons why people prefer trust planning. Number one is what we call disability management. You get to select and control who's in charge of your trust when something happens to you and you become disabled. And then also for probate avoidance, to try to keep your stuff out of the court system, out of having to file accountings with the court and have all of your assets and liabilities as part of the public record. So the best way that I've ever found to talk about trust planning is that we view a revocable trust as an open box. And this is the box you get to create the rules of your box. You get to say that, me or my spouse, we are in charge of this box up until one of two things happens, either our death or our disability. So within the box, we will retitle your house into the box. If you own Coca-Cola stock, we'll title that in the name of the trust. That goes into your box. And you take your bank accounts, your liquid accounts, the things that you want to spend money on, those things go into your revocable trust. I refer to the revocable trust as the hokey pokey of trust. You can put things in and you can take things out. So let's say that you're living in this big blue house and you've lived in this big blue house for the last 30 years. And you decide now your kids are gone, the maintenance is too much, you don't want to go up and down steps, and you want to buy a smaller red house. Well, as the trustee of your trust, meaning you are the person who is in charge of your box, you have every right to sell your blue house, and you want to buy a smaller red house, you can absolutely do that. And then we just retitled the red house into your box. So now your trust owns a house, you have sold the house, you have downsized. Let's say you have this Coca-Cola stock and you want to sell it, and you want to buy some IBM stock. You are absolutely entitled to do that. Why? Even though the trust owns the stock, you are the person who is in charge of the trust and in charge of the assets in the box. If you want to use your checkbook to send yourself on a wonderful vacation, to buy clothes, to buy food, to give gifts to anybody in the world that you want to, you are fully able to do that. Because even though your bank account is titled in the name of the trust, you are in charge of the trust. You are in charge of all of the assets that are in your box. Now, we talked about disability management as a really important aspect of revocable trust planning. So, let's say that I become disabled, and I say that I want my friend John to be the next person who's in charge of my box, the next person who's in charge of my trust, and I write the rules into my box. And I say when something happens to me, I want my friend John to be in charge of the trust. I hand over my box to the next person. That next person then gets to manage those assets on my behalf. So if they need to sell I'm no longer living in my house. I'm in an assisted living or in a nursing home, or no longer living there. And all that's going on with my house that's being used to pay the taxes, to pay the water bill, to pay the utilities, and it's a money suck, well, and they need to sell my house to help pay for my care, the substitute trustee, the next person I've put in charge of my box, now gets to step into my shoes and can sell the assets that are in the trust and use them and apply them to my care. So that great disability management, that seamless transition of power from me to the next person in line is one of the great advantages of having a revocable trust. And the other advantage of having a revocable trust is we talked about probate, the full avoidance of probate. So my trust will say, at my death, I want my red house or blue house, whatever color house I have at the time, I want my red house to go to a particular person. I want it to go to my kids. Well, at my death, the kids can inherit the house or any other property without having to go through the court's probate process. They don't have to file inventories at the courthouse. Nobody can go to the courthouse and say, can you tell me who Greg left his house to, because my trust is not on file at the courthouse. Nobody gets a list of my assets or any of those other things that otherwise become public record through the court's probate process. So it's the house and any other assets can be distributed privately here in the office versus having to go through the court's probate process. So again, the two advantages to the trust planning: disability management, handing the box over from one person to the next, and the full avoidance of probate. And now also we have the hokey pokey of trust, that I can put things in and I can take things out whenever I want to, because I have made myself the trustee of my trust. So here you have it. This is what a revocable trust is: an open box that you have full access to those assets. Thank you for watching our video, and we hope to see you next time. And check out the description down below, where you can download a free copy of my book, How to Protect Your Home and Life Savings in Maryland, and register for one of our free online webinars.